How do I claim rent relief allowance when the rent receipt issued to me is not issued in my name? Yes, some of us has found ourselves in this situation whereby we pay rent on behalf of our family for our families, but then the receipts are not issued on our names. And this is how to go about it. Rent relief is basically introduced during the new Tax Reform Act in order to help reduce your chargeable tax. It was introduced to replace the consolidated relief allowance that was formerly used. When you pay rent but the receipt is not issued in your name, then this is how to go about it. Rent relief, as we all know, is 20% of your annual rent, but capped at 500,000 naira. What that means is that if your annual rent is 5 million naira and 20% of that 5 million naira on annual basis is 1 million naira, you cannot claim the entire 1 million naira. What you can do is the maximum amount you can claim for your rent relief is just 500,000 naira. But if your rent, let's say, is 2 million naira, 20% of 2 million naira is 400,000 naira. Then you can take the 400,000 naira as a deduction on your total income. If your total income for the year, let's say, is 10 million naira, you are allowed to take away 400,000 naira from that 10 million naira. What the rent relief does is to help you reduce your chargeable tax in order to arrive at a reduced taxable amount on a monthly basis. These are the steps I will advise you to do in order to claim your rent relief, even if your rent receipt is not issued in your name. Firstly, you can talk to your landlord to introduce an additional name into your contract, whereby if the receipt issued is just in the name of your wife, the landlord can then add and your own name into the receipt so that it can show that you are the payer of that rent. Secondly, you must ensure that nobody has been using that receipt to claim any rent relief. If the receipt is issued in your wife's name and your wife has been claiming the rent relief, then you are not entitled to claim the rent relief. Another way you can claim this relief is when you are paying the rent, probably you can provide your TIN to your landlord. And so by the time you are filing your annual returns, you can then use that rent you paid as an additional proof, provided you've given your landlord your TIN to claim the rent relief. But most importantly, if you can find a way around it to also add an additional name, which is your own name, while the landlord is writing receipt, this will foster a faster process to help you use that receipt to claim your relief allowance. I hope this gives you clarity on how to claim your rent relief allowance, even though your receipt is not issued in your name. If you find this video very helpful, share it to other people who you think this video will be helpful to. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We'll see you on the next video.